Hello and welcome back to the channel, and we're working on the Volvo 480 this time. A little bit more progress. I want to look into one of the electrical issues, which is the direction indicators aren't working. Let's take a look. Now what you'll notice I'm looking at is the wiring diagram for the Volvo. You can see here C4, which is the left and right direction indicator switch. It tells me that 49 is the common pin, and then it switches between left and right to run the direction indicator bulbs down the bottom there. So what I thought I'd do is take the steering wheel off, take the stalk off, and then I can take a look and see if the stalk is working, and then I can work back over and find out where the problem is. So what I've done, I've actually started putting it back together. Let me take you in for a closer look. What I've done is I took the lower piece off here, and then, so because this has got the airbag, you leave the battery disconnected, and then there's a couple of torques on the back of the steering wheel that take the airbag module off. That's the connector, simple 2-pin. Now interestingly, what you do is this screw is attached to the airbag system, and it's kept in a little holder inside the steering wheel, and when you want to remove the steering wheel, it has to go in there, and it acts as a locking pin for this, which is the clock spring. Now this is the outer, which is used for the horn. That works fine, and you can see the clock spring inside is actually used for the airbag trigger. So I'm going to, I've tested the switch, and sadly, or not sadly, I'm not sure, that works fine. So it means that the problem isn't in the stalk. I think the next thing to do might be to look at the indicator switch itself, see if that's faulty, the hazard, because although that works, the wiring does actually go through it, so it could be related to that. And then the next step would be, I would guess, going underneath, which is where the body control module, or the central electrical module, I think they call it, is under there. That could have a problem under there as well. So I'm just slowly eliminating things. I'm going to put the steering wheel back on, get the airbag back on, and this back together now, because I've determined that it's not this part of it that's the problem. Line it all up very carefully. Oh yeah. Put the nut back on so I didn't lose it. It wasn't dead centre, it was slightly off. There we go. That should be about in the right place. Let's just fasten that back on. Never actually taken a steering wheel off a car before, so this is a new one for me. There we go, it wasn't mega tight. So now that's on, what I can do is I'll show you in here. Then what we do is we take this little locator screw I think little design features like this are ingenious, and then it just, that screw just stores in the hole there, and it's ready for next time. And that's what this little bit of tape's all about. It's just warning and keeping a hold of it. Little design tips like that, little design features that Volvo have incorporated that I do like. Little things like that do make things a little bit easier. Let's get the airbag module back on. Here it is. Here's the airbag module. Single twin pin in the middle. Now they're nothing to be scared of, airbag modules. You just have to follow the guides and follow how to take them out and plug them in safely. So I'm going to move myself out of the way before I plug the connector in. Still just being careful because I still don't like these things. There we go, that's it connected back in. And just line it all up like that. And then get the Allen key. Just give it a few turns just to see if it's got hold of it. Yep, I'll do the same on the other side. Move the indicator out of the way. Not the easiest, but then I am also using awkward long torques. So I got it here. I'll just do this up then. There we are. Back in place. I can feel the horn is connecting okay. I'm going to go and get the battery connected. Let's try the indicator stalk, just in case by reseating the connectors we've made a difference. Of course, I forgot something. I've got the fuel filter disconnected, so the fuel primer pump just switched on and poured petrol out underneath the car. That was clever. But you could see the indicator stalk still not working, so we do have an electrical problem. I'm going to disconnect the battery again and start to trace it back a bit more. I think the next thing is to take the dashboard back out. We already know the center electrical module isn't working properly anyway, so that does need looking at. So I think let's take the dashboard apart again, get this off, and we can have a look at the double indicator switch and see if there's anything wrong back there. Luckily, I'm a dab hand at taking the dashboard surround out now. You can see that's all out. I'm going to take the instrument cluster out so I can have a look and get the computer working, the info center. But I've taken the connector off. It's that one there for the double indicator. And I'm not sure whether to try it again. Obviously, once I've disconnected the fuel pump, and then try and see whether the indicators work with that completely disconnected. I was looking at the diagram. Obviously, that joins together several of the wires, and if that's faulty, that could be causing a problem. And I've now taken out the electrical module, which goes in down here. Oh, actually, right, that's what's happened here. So the casing came apart when I was taking it out. Volvo Central Electrical Module 3. And I've got this, and it's actually come apart, which I didn't plan to do, but you can see compared to modern cars how simple, well, I say simple, there's still a chip, there's still a lot of circuitry on there, but you can see a lot of it is driven by relays, and you can see the manual called the stator, if I remember rightly, on a relay, and all of these. Now I'm guessing one or two of these should be for the indicators. Now I'm not sure whether to just check the connectors, plug the connectors back in and try it again. Could just be a poor connector, so I might give that a go. You know something, after plugging them back in, I don't think one of them was plugged in properly. That one didn't appear quite as solid as it does now. Something as simple as that could do it. Now that those are all plugged in, let's get the battery connected. Let's just see if there's any difference. Definitely a clicking coming from in there as well, so one or more relays definitely go. Oh, ignition on. I've got the fuel pump disconnected, by the way. Nothing at all from the indicators, which is a bit odd. Nothing at all. Very strange. I'm starting to think we might have a ground issue somewhere. Let me show you why. Turn the ignition off. Turn the ignition on, you'll see we get ABS and the SRS light on, and after a few seconds they go out like they should. Just wait for the SRS to go out. SRS being safety restraint system. Not gone out this time. So normally that goes out, but if I put the hazards on, the SRS did actually come back again. So I wonder if there's a ground problem somewhere. I'm not going to bore you with all the ins and outs, but I haven't got to the end of it, but I think I'm getting somewhere. The circuit in the middle here, this is the flasher circuit, and it also makes the blinking noise. Now you can see on the hazard switch, this joins up, and that provides power back to the blinker unit. Now you'll see there isn't one on this circuit, it goes through the bulbs. Now what I'm thinking is, what if all the bulbs have failed, or we've got a problem with the rear lighting? If power's not flowing through, possibly this blinker circuit isn't getting power, and that's a possibility. And the way to test this is, what I did is I've bridged these two wires here, which will force the blinker circuit on. Now I've done this very, very carefully. On the back of this switch, it's these two wires here, you can hear the blinker circuit comes on very fast and confused, but no indicator light. If I put one of the two on, you can see they actually come on. So I think I'm onto something, working it out from a diagram. So I'm going to go away, hopefully solve this problem, maybe just find some bulbs that have gone, and that might solve it. Fingers crossed there. That sort of eliminates that. That one's working. Side repeater's working. So it is actually getting a circuit through the bulbs, which is kind of what I'd hoped wasn't the case. So it's not quite that, but you can see I'm not far off solving this. So let me solve this. Hopefully I'll be able to come back to you with an answer.